Hey guys, hope you're having a great day. It was a great life.
As well as a great life, we're here with Every Woman's Crush Wednesday. Rod Stewart, avid train collector. I mention that almost every video because I think it's so interesting.
What was the last song we hit? And you want my body. I
feel like there was one in between that.
Was there? I don't know if there was.
I don't know.
I think the last Rod we hit was Disco Rod. And we weren't even upset.
Rod.
And we weren't even upset.
No,
if
it's
anything,
really good.
We were like, if you're going to sell out, do it like Rod Stewart.
I was pretty.
I think was the vibe we had, if I remember correctly.
Pretty intrigued by the whole situation. Didn't turn me off whatsoever.
Yeah, and this is the same album that I believe Maggie May came from. Like, this same era.
Self-titled too. Self-titled. Every picture has its story.
And I think from the get-go,
tells a story.
When we did our first poll, I think we had like 4 or 5 Rod Stewart songs, and they picked Maggie May. In the comments, this was like a kind of like an underdog where everyone was like, "Listen, I get it. Maggie May's gonna win. It's the the radio hit. It's the one that everyone knows." But this self-titled song is the one that really kind of just showcases something that you're just not gonna find from other parts of his discography. And then ever since I found out, like I think we've seen this all the time, but the rap song that samples him where it's like every day I spend my time. That one. Ever since I heard that, I just got so much more of like an interest in him. But in like it was once you see like an artist get sampled in the modern era, but like done in a way where you almost didn't know it was them until but when you find out, you're like, that's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
So we're ranting, but we're excited to check out more Rod Stewart.
All right. Well, thank you for watching the video. Happy Merry Christmas-ish week. I think it's like falling down a little bit, but it's all right. It's still good. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe, notification bell, all the good things. Do your boys a little Christmas favor. If you're not subscribed, there's like a percentage of you that are, percentage of you that aren't. Try to optimize that. Let's get those numbers up. It's like running a quarter mile. You want to get a couple seconds off that time.
Absolutely. Tell them, dude.
Yeah.
Motivate them.
And with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, guys. Unfortunately, the video got blocked. So we're going to do what we always do. We're going to put a link to it in the description as well as at the end of the video. And then if you wanted to see our commentary on the song, go ahead and watch the rest of the video for that. 12-string, cool. Kind of Rolling Stones-ish a little bit.
I was thinking the same thing.
Really?
Yep.
All right, rating?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, A.
A minus?
Close enough. All right, cool. Not my favorite Rod Stewart song, but so good. Don't let that detract from the fact that it's an amazing song. Any song that has like crazy drums going off to the one right or left side, all about that.
I think my favorite part of the song was the bass. I think the bass.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the track felt sloppy, not in a bad way whatsoever, but almost because a lot of things were tight. It was from almost like the placement of the things in the mix.
It's true.
Felt like it was placed in such a way where
haphazard.
It makes you, it almost tries to create like an environment where it feels like more rough than it actually was when it was recorded.
Well, one of the things I was noticing was it got less chaotic and less energetic when you added in electric guitar, which almost never happens. Like for most of the track, you're hearing, besides the voice, you're hearing acoustic 12-string in the far left panned. Yeah. You're hearing drums panned far right, and you're hearing bass a little bit off center of the right. It sounds like. All 3 of those instruments are super, super rhythmic. So you're having a lot of rhythmic intricacy all clashing together, and it feels right. It's never out of place. They're all playing very in time, especially the bass is but they're all going ham. And so you're having all these weird syncopated rhythms all brushing against each other, and so it makes the track feel super energetic, but also very chaotic.
I think it just felt almost lopsided, mainly from the drums being pushed pretty far on the right.
Yeah.
As usually you have a couple different pieces of the drum kit just in different sides of the mix, whereas almost all of it was kind of
pushed to the side.
Yeah, which was a little jarring, listening in stereo.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're listening to it in a stereo system, you might not get that same experience, but you might. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But at least sitting in this chair with on my head, I was leaning one
kind of
almost.
I definitely get the feeling of chaoticness and where everything it borderline. It's the only time I've ever heard it. Not only time probably, but in recent memory, hearing rhythmic rub in the same way that you'd hear dissonance on a guitar or a piano. Mm-hmm. It's rubbing. It's very intense, and you're having to work at it. I also love that singing wise, not only is he wailing on this track.
Yep.
We hear Rod all the time singing about women, right? His trouble with women. Now he's singing about trouble not only with women, but also with the law. He's in Paris, I got whatever, incited a riot and a peaceful riot, peaceful protest, and I'm like getting all this trouble for that.
So usually we see the bad boy Rod, but usually it's in regard to being like a heartbreaker, when this time he's just causing trouble with the people.
And at the end of it, he's also like, well, also there's a woman. Just so you know, there's still a girl in my life.
Yeah. Well, his vocals, I feel like his vocals just felt very consistent here. Like nothing like specifically like called for me or blew me away, but nothing like felt undercut at all either. It felt almost like extremely neutral, which sounds weird to say because the whole track, like there was dynamics, like especially like with all the other instruments just interplaying with each other. Though I feel like the vocals were just kind of almost like a
I think
sailing ship, even though he was like wailing. So it's like you would think like, why is it when he's wailing? Why does it feel so?
Because that's my favorite. This is my favorite type of his voice, but it did.
Agree.
There was no like change in it. Although there was a couple points, especially again when the guitar, like the electric guitar came in, he started singing a little bit lower, and then he brought it back up, and then he's singing, especially towards the end where he brings in the background vocals and a little bit of tambourine, I think, and he just feels like very chanty and anthemic. Like every picture tells a story, don't it?
I think that's my favorite part, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
When he started going into that, it felt, especially around there, it felt very Stones-esque.
Yes.
In a great way,
Because it's like writing an anthem.
Yeah.
Great way to start a record. Great, because it really does get across, like, not only am I a great musician, here's like a good sample of what I can do consistently over a whole track.
Yeah.
I wish I knew who the bassist was. That bassist was so incredible. I don't know if it's a studio musician or somebody he toured with or like a mainstay of the band, but man, that bassist killed.
I think it was my favorite part of the entire song.
Yeah.
I think for me, at least, it was. Like you said, just so consistent. And maybe it was because he was probably the most grounded instrument.
But he's also going nuts. Like, he seems like he's having the most fun. He's like...
Exactly. Well, it's like he's grounded in terms of like where he's at in the mix, but he's also doing all these crazy things. Like gelling all the craziness together.
Usually I feel like you don't have bass moving that much, and when it does, everything else has to hold it together, whereas somehow this was feeling as if it held everything together while never stopping moving. This is the Usain Bolt of bass lines.
I'm just trying to like figure out what the thought process was of the mixing. Like, I'm not saying it should be any different. I'm just wondering, like, while it's all happening, because so much of it felt like not what, like, almost going like in a counterculture sense of like against the grain of what was like standard. Like, and it's like a lot of times artists do it for specific reasons, and I guess I just don't know exactly what the reason was. I guess because then you hear it, whether it's on the radio or you hear it on the record, the first song on the record, and you just go, oh, this sounds different. But it's like, did you just because it sounds different, or did you have some kind of like purpose?
Well, I think,
like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of those like classic rock songs that pan the drums to one side. I don't know what the reason is for that. You don't hear it very much now, so I feel like it's kind of a little antiquated of an idea. It did something, I'm sure, but I think that's part of what he was doing. And then you just hear the other instruments doing what they normally would. Like, imagine the drums weren't panned to the side and you just had them in the center. Everything else would borderline be doing the same thing. It still feels very chaotic.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it worked really well. Like I said, just for me, it was an A Rod Stewart song. Just did really, really solidly throughout the entire thing. Had me excited and energetic the whole time.
True.
Not only is he telling a story, but he's telling it in a very cool way. So, I don't know. Just like I said, perfect way to start the album. If I'm listening to this album, I'm not turning it off after the first song, for sure.
Yeah. Because then it at least leaves you curious. It's like, is this style going to continue through the whole record? What else does he have? Like you said, like he's wailing off the bat, consistently through the entire track. And I mean, I guess it just kind of shows like promise / like it builds
That's
almost
a good way of
like
saying it.
anticipation / curiosity of what's to come.
It's a lot of foreplay.
A lot of foreplay.
Yeah.
But I feel like Rod Stewart is a man who knows a little bit about foreplay. He doesn't know too much. He knows like
the appropriate
barely
amount.
enough.
Yeah.
Barely enough. But the thing is with Rod Stewart, it's like, how much foreplay does he need?
He's like,
know?
I'm not a very patient man.
He's like, I walk up, the dripping.
Anyways, let us know what we need to do next by them. And with that being said, we'll catch you next video.
Peace. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. If you have not seen our reaction for I Know I'm Losing You from Rod Stewart and his band here, click that link right here. We have the video right here for you. And unfortunately, our video Maggie May got blocked. If you want to see that, we have it on Patreon for free. Link right here. See you there.